name's Adam Katz Sinding, and I'm the photographer. And we're in Seoul, South Korea. At that point in time, I worked for the W Hotel. At that time, I was carrying people's bags. For 10 years, I started off parking cars, carrying bags, and then I was concierge. So photography, the guys who also were carrying bags with me, they were into photography, and when we would get off work, we would go down to the port at night, take photos. There's a very famous beer company in Seattle that had an old beer brewery for making the beer, and it was abandoned, and they were turning it into artists' loft. They opened it up to local artists to come in and do graffiti and things like that. So for about 1 or 2 years, it was just open. So we would go down there at night and take pictures. It was cool. Men's Fashion Week started on January 5th, I think. And so every day since January 5th, I've worked. If you have like a job in an office and you work 7 days a week, every week without any days off, you begin to be tired and maybe not as excited. I still am excited about my job. Every time I come somewhere new, I'm excited. Every time I come back to somewhere, I'm excited. But it becomes more difficult to... That's the only thing, is you begin to burn out. Anytime you're overworked and you're doing the same kind of repetitive thing, you become tired and you run the risk of becoming bored. The quality of the work is, I think, better, but the desire to work hard is more difficult to maintain, I think. Does that make sense? This is my first book. It's called This Is Not a Fucking Street Style Book. And I've been working on it with the publishers and a couple other people for about 2 years. Really in the last 8 months, we really started working really hard because the concept changed, or we didn't have a very good concept, or we just didn't know what we wanted to do, or I was traveling too much, or whatever. August, September, October, November, I think it was the end. I mean, that was like crazy hard, like every day, 5,000 emails maybe, like asking everybody their permission and making the selection, and then eliminating photos, and then finding a photo that we forgot about, and then adding the photo, and it was so much, but it's hard work for sure. Because I don't like the word blog. I really don't like the word blog, and street style for me, I don't like, only because it's kind of generic. It's such a stupid word, because I can take a photo of one of these old businessmen on the street, you know, who's coming from office to go to the restaurant here. And technically that can be street style, but it's not. It's more anthropological, like, and what I'm taking is... It could be both. You could say both, right? Like you take a photo of a homeless person on the street. You could say it's street style. You could say you like his style, even though he's, doesn't have much choice in what he's wearing. No
specific criteria.
Yeah, exactly. So street style for me is very superficial, for sure. But yeah, and it's I'm doing this tour, going around to all these concept stores and doing book launches. So yesterday we met yesterday at Boon Shop in Seoul. Before that, we launched initially in London at Machine A, and then in Milan at Antonioli, the Broken Arm in Paris, and then we did a store called Story in Tel Aviv, Israel, and then a store called The Room in Prague. And then after this, tomorrow I go to Tokyo for a launch, and there's like 10 more countries after that. So it's really exciting.